We are days away from discovering Theo Silverton's, James Cartwright, killer in Coronation Street. Over the past few weeks, DS Lisa Connor Swain, Vicky Myers, and DC Kit Green, Jacob Roberts, have interviewed a number of familiar faces, determined to work out who committed the crime. It seems they're going round in circles though, as the duo have fallen into a habit of questioning people, and then finding proof that they're actually innocent. Next week, fans will finally learn what really happened on Theo's final night in Weatherfield. Ahead of the big reveal, here's everything we know so far about the main suspects, plus all of the information regarding the episode that will confirm who murdered Theo Silverton. The suspect's Summer Spellman. Per Summer Spellman, Harriet Bibby was staying at His Majesty's pleasure awaiting trial, having been charged with Theo's murder. To be fair, Lisa and Kit did have quite a lot of evidence against her. She had motive, no alibi, and physical evidence putting her in Theo's flat on the night of the murder. In her initial statement, Summer told police that the last time she'd seen Theo was days before he was found dead. However, this was thrown into question when the police found a brooch in the flat, which they later spotted her wearing in a photo from that night. To make matters worse, George told Lisa he'd seen Summer walking away from the flat, which gave her enough evidence to arrest her. Summer insisted that she was innocent, and claimed that Tyrone could corroborate that Theo was alive when she left the flat. However, with Tyrone having lied to Lisa, more on that later, Summer was charged with murder. A flashback revealed that she was telling the truth, and had left Theo alive. Summer has now been released, but was she hiding anything else from the police? Could she have caught up with him at the precinct and killed him later? Christina Boyd. Christina Boyd, Amy Robbins, has certainly sparked suspicion since Theo's murder, for several reasons. Firstly, she was caught lying about her whereabouts in her initial police statement, something that seems to be a common occurrence in this case. She was called back in for questioning when the police learned that the location of her car on the night in question contradicted her statement. Though Christina told George that she had simply forgotten that she'd stopped for petrol, was she telling the truth? She certainly seems to be going to extreme lengths to cover something up. It was Christina who pushed George into reporting Summer's lies. Could she have been deflecting the heat onto someone else to cover her own tracks? Christina was one of the first characters to get bad vibes from Theo. Could she have killed him after learning that her intuition was right? George Shuttleworth. George Shuttleworth, Tony Maudsley, made no secret of his feelings toward Theo, and he was one of the first suspects to be questioned by police. He's also been quick to point the finger at countless other suspects. Could this be a deflection? Christina found Theo's blood on his sleeve the morning after the murder, and though he claimed it was from their earlier tussle, he didn't have an alibi for the time of Theo's death, having gone out alone for a walk. Did George kill Theo to put an end to Todd's ordeal? He was certainly one of the first to try to help him escape Theo's abuse, second only to Billy. Gary Windass. Despite working together, Gary Windass, Mikey North, made it very clear that he was firmly on Todd's side. He's already pretty convinced that Gary was the man responsible, and the evidence does point to that theory. We know that Gary smashed up Theo's van and then deleted the CCTV. Not only that, but Maria Connor, Samia Longchamben, gave him a false alibi, seemingly unaware that he was caught on the street in the back of one of Sally and Tim Metcalf's, Sally Dinover and Joe Duttine, selfies from that night. Fans already suspect that his shifty behavior in the aftermath, combined with his recent close bond with Sarah, points to a secret affair between the two of them. Could Theo have discovered Gary and Sarah's supposed affair? Could Gary have killed him to keep him quiet? A recent flashback sequence confirmed Gary was looking over the scaffolding following Theo's death. He was standing with a metal pole in his hand, making it look as though he was the one who committed the crime. But was Gary alone that night? Maybe he witnessed someone else kill the man? Danielle Silverton. Theo's ex-wife Danielle Silverton, Natalie Anderson, has one of the strongest motives of all the suspects, and it hasn't gone unnoticed this week. She hasn't exactly been subtle about the fact that she's inquired about Theo's life insurance, and she was less than impressed to find out that it had gone to Todd. Tracy Barlow, Kate Ford, was the first to float the theory that Danielle had killed Theo for the money, and the evidence has only continued to stack up. Danielle and Theo didn't exactly part on good terms, and she was on the street the night he died, having delivered the Connorswains' wedding cake. However, she did appear to have an alibi, as she claimed to have visited a friend from church who lived nearby. Todd Grimshaw. If anyone has a motive to kill Theo, it's Todd Grimshaw, Gareth Pierce. Theo put him through hell during their relationship, and Todd was clearly starting to think that he'd never be free of him. He's fought back against Theo in the past. Could he have killed him this time? Tyrone Dobbs. Tyrone Dobbs, Alan Halsall, had all of our backs up when he lied to the police about not seeing Summer on the night of Theo's murder, but it seems his reasons were unconnected to his death. It's been revealed that he had been the one to drop the car on Carl Webster, Jonathan Howard, and telling the police the truth would lead to him being charged for attempted manslaughter, or so Ronnie Bailey, Vinta Morgan, told him. Ronnie had helped Tyrone cover up his crime, so his determination to keep the police away makes sense. But could he be protesting too much? Their involvement with Carl looks to have ruled both Ronnie and Tyrone, and Carl himself, for that matter, out of the running for Theo's killer, but anything is possible. So, for now, they're not off the list entirely, just somewhere near the bottom. Sarah Platt. Someone else with a pretty solid alibi is Sarah Platt, Tina O'Brien, but it felt remiss not to mention her, given that, if the theory of their affair is correct, she would have the same motive as Gary. Not to mention the fact that she and Todd are incredibly close friends, so her hatred for Theo has been apparent. She's also been getting drunk, calling for Kit to return home and getting distracted at work, all signs that she could be feeling guilty about something, whether that be an affair or a murder. It could be that the affair theory is completely on the wrong track, but that Gary or Sarah, or perhaps both, killed Theo and are covering for each other. There's also the small matter of the fact that Sarah was attacked by Jody Ramsey, Olivia Francis Brown, on the same night, and spent a great deal of the evening in hospital. I did say she had a solid alibi. The trauma of this could also have been why she's been acting out of character lately. However, I wouldn't entirely rule her out, as there's always the possibility that Gary is the killer, and she's covering for him. The party. On Monday, June 22nd, Todd, Maria, Gary, and Summer will arrive at Sarah's flat for a dinner party with her and Kit. The evening will be one this group won't want to remember in a hurry, as secrets and lies will mean things descend into chaos pretty quickly. Flashbacks from the night of Theo's murder will also air, as we finally learn who killed him. But will it be someone sat at the dinner table? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Coronation Street News 24.